We will start off with pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, we have a quorum. So we will start off with the consent agenda. I have none. Yes, that's all in here. Yeah. And I will second that. Yes. All in favor? Aye. Okay. Consent agenda passes. Any public comment? Okay. We will move on to department head reports. We will start off with Township.
My report for the month. We are seeing that it's been pretty slow lately. Results are expected very soon.
Thank you. Next up, we have Tina.
Hello. So last meeting you asked for comparison of our staff versus the township staff. That's in there, broken down by consistency, gender, and generations. Any questions about those?
No, I appreciate it.
Okay, good, not a problem. We have one termination, AMT left in the month of March, 2 new hires, youth services coordinator and a park administrative assistant. We are doing well with hiring for Murphy. We start summer camp soon, so their care camp or Senate care services soon as well. And we have 4 lateral firefighters that are starting next week.
Great.
Any questions?
I was behind maybe the park discussion. How's the hiring going for Murphy?
I think they're doing well.
We're pretty close to being done.
Yeah, I think Murphy's pretty close to being done, and then we'll start with the camps and.
We're already doing training. Nobody has failed the lifeguard test yet, so.
Well, that's good.
A lot of people were brought back from last year.
Good. Oh, good. Good. Be quiet. No. Yeah. Next up, fire.
Can't fail the lifeguard, that's lifeguard in class.
That's right, that lifeguard.
Oh. It's not you, is it? No. Okay. I'm sure.
Self-promoted.
My apologies.
Just like Ashley mentioned, we did have 2 new hires in the month of March. We had Jen, who is our youth services coordinator, and then Monica, who comes to us with lots of administrative and assistant work. They both have done phenomenal so far. We started our summer camp, and we have seen a huge jump in summer camp. Like I mentioned in here, April 1st is when we open registration, and by the end of the weekend, we already had made 40,000. That number is doubled since then. So we're doing really well with registration, and then May 5th is when we'll start registration for Explorer Care. So we're thinking that's going to be another big jump as well, just because there is early bird registration for that. We also have several opportunities where people can get in front and actually sign up with us. So a couple different times throughout the summer, there'll be a booth out there. We'll be advertising for it. People can come up, they can sign up for extended care at the actual pool. And then Karen has been working on a lot of marketing efforts for that as well too, so we can get that going in the summer. And then Murphy Aquatic Park, we're getting started. We were doing some finishing touches on that as well. I mentioned briefly remediation for the pipe bursting. We've almost finished everything. We did find a couple more things once we built the pool that will need fixed. But as far as our damages, we were only liable for 500 of that. And so Selective has been really good working with us on that, getting those approved. We got our first check, and then we'll have our last one once the last final invoices come through. As far as revenue goes, we're doing really well on revenue. We're tracking higher than last year. And so I'm really confident that we'll be able to hit those.
On a pipe thing, is that a
construction issue? Was that a maintenance issue?
No, it was the big freeze. So Selective has, what they called it? It was some type of event is being deemed those 4 days when it froze. That is being deemed as a catastrophic event. So a lot of people have submitted claims and that was a pipe burst during that event and then it filled up the pit. And then because of that, we've been working to recuperate it. And that's why we filled the pool early this year. That way we could turn everything on, make sure everything was good so we could open on May 27th.
Okay, so they didn't get what the proper.
No, it was just like they said, yeah, so they categorized it.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Awesome, thank you. The fire. Yeah.
Pour out the orange. These are just documents. I've already given you guys copies of one-on-ones. They're just to look at, they're not for approval of anything, they're just matter of information. Very FDA standards, you're already familiar with some of them, so we're good there. For the chief's report, you guys have that in front of you. If you have any questions, a couple things to expand on before we get to any questions you may have. We have been busy, budget preparation. We're talking to Mr. Bellamy and Mr. Peters quite often. Mr. Peters, we met with formally yesterday, had a good conversation. Sounds like our plans at present, moving forward in the official talks kind of fit into the mold of where we can head. Now we got to decide how reasonable it is. So, but we're not out of line with the things that we're looking for in the growth that we want. With that said, we are hiring, as Ashley said, 4 people. I put in the report 5. We had 1 drop out. We were going to look to hire more to get us at 31 a shift. 31 a shift was previous planning whenever it included the EDO, which we abolished within the first week of coming into office. So 30 is suitable. 31 would allow some potential training opportunities. We're going to stick with 30 the rest of the year so that the 4 people coming in accomplishes that and we'll be fine there. EMS, we've made some changes that's listed there. Fire prevention continues to grow. We do have an event coming up this week. Sent out and individual emails. We're doing the fire investigation thing tomorrow. If you guys want to come out, you're welcome to. It's just an event for the media and local first responders to come out and participate and do investigation scenarios. So again, fire prevention continues to grow month after month. Whenever you ask somebody a question, you got to be careful what you ask for. They had a lot of ideas and they've been harnessed a little while and they're ready to move forward and we need them to do that. Also, I'd like to congratulate a recent promotion for Chief Doug Phillips to Battalion Chief. We had a safety board meeting where we asked for an exception to one of our policies. It was a minor exception. They agreed, and actually it's an appointed position. They agreed they really probably shouldn't have a say in it. We'll work on that another day. Our run responses and the reports that you all have to go along with the documents that I gave you with the map and then NFPA 1710. You can look at the runs in each district. This is the report we're going to give you moving forward. We further explain that in private meetings one-on-one. Just so you're aware, whenever we get to collaborative meetings, we're comfortable and we know what we're looking at and we can further explain that to the citizens. With that being said, dispatch from the actual dispatch on scene is 6:07. We're well within the 8 minutes that would be allotted if you add all the stuff up in performance objectives of the 1710. And the average turnout time of all apparatus is 58 seconds. We're well under the 80-second benchmark there. So our people continue to perform and do the right things, both in EMS and fire. We appreciate them on that. And this story that you're looking at, you can see we're up 170 runs, incidents year to date from 2022. Things aren't slowing down, and more businesses and residences are being built. And we plan on having a strategic plan to keep up with that responsibly and with full communication with you all. With that said, I have a small PowerPoint. Is this the time we do it or we do it later? So it's only 4 slides. Just click around. So Station 144, sometimes you got to look at the past to know where you're moving into the future. So Station 144 has had enough conversation among the fire ranks of why is it there? Is it valid? Is it a good location? Should we have done it? Whatever questions come up. So whenever we look at this in the past as we move forward, I'm going to have to validate this to you all. We need to make sure we're giving you good data on why something's needed. whatever it is, whenever it's a major investment, like the potential for Station 5 in the near future, we have to look at what we've been doing to make sure we're relevant in what we currently have. So with Station 144, if you look at these districts, and these are on the small map that I gave you, Jeff, I gave you a copy of that as well. They're just roughly drawn out for reference. You'll see geo zones, 1403 through 1410 there. And then you look at the responses in those geo zones. The responses, the number of responses of 1,001 runs, that is what Station 144 took over from 141 and 142 when it was placed in the service. Response time analysis in each of those geo zones from January to May 31st, prior to the building of Station 144, we were at the times listed, the 536 all the way down to 1410 at 405. There's two geo zones I highlighted on those maps, and those geo zones are 1405 and 1410 that we actually had a falter where we are responding slower than we would like based on the new station. But every other geo zone benefited 30 seconds to over a minute. And with that said, the average local response time has gone from January to May 31st from 506 to 444. So we are providing a better service to the people who live around Station 144. So it was a good place to go. It was a valid move. It was a valid station to be built because we're better serving people in the community more closely to the standards, and we're aligning properly with those standards set forth. When you look at the old stuff that was presented to you, you see the overall response time. That looks at all four stations. That looks at the area south of 36 where we're relatively underserved and have plans moving forward, have already secured property and so forth. With that said, you see a variance of plus or minus 3 seconds and 5 minutes. That could be traffic. That could be a change in construction. That could be a lot of things. That plus or minus 3 seconds doesn't tell the story of the response time or the validity of Station 4. What people may look at and see when you look at the gross response time is we built Station 4 and got slower. That's not the case. That's why we have to break it down per specific region of service so we know what we're doing for the people in that community and make sure we're doing the right things. So whenever you look at overall response time, that includes any number of things from weather to construction to a potential increased response in the Southern District where we don't have firehouses readily available and so on and so forth. Is there anything out of what I'm saying, Jason, that you would like to add from operations?
Those are, I think, covered.
Okay. So again, as we look at this data, and all it is a presentation to let you get used to seeing numbers that we will be giving you, whether it's a good story or bad story. Station 144 was put in service June 1st, 2022. While the overall response time of the department had a slight increase, the area covered by 144 showed a decrease in response time. That's a positive thing for residents. This is intended to show the effects of proper station placement and direct value on services provided. Again, whenever we go and do these types of investments, these are the things that should be done ahead of time. And I'm sure there were studies done and things presented. I don't know what they were, so I want you to understand if I'm looking at it, this is what I will present to you and what our staff currently will present. So that way we're not skewing things just to tell you a story we want you to believe. A valuable assessment as we look into the future for station staffing and operational needs. These charts are easy to drill down. Anytime you ask for them, we'll have no problem producing them in short order.
Okay, thank you. Okay, trustee report.
So you have a copy of my report in your packet, just to highlight a couple of those items on there. So Suzanne Conger, a name that obviously everybody, at least up in the front of this room, is familiar with. Probably the majority of people in the room know her as well, but she has asked to step away from the Township's Building Corporation. Suzanne has been a long-time servant of our community, both on the Township Board and with the Building Corporation. So we certainly appreciate all that she's done for us over the years. To replace her on the Building Corporation, we have met with and have sworn in Christine Archer, who will be filling that role moving forward for us. Also, you'll see on there we have made a change with our insurance broker. We are going with Gregory and Appel now. They interviewed phenomenally, very well. For everybody that was in that interview, everybody agreed that they were a solid group. Very highly recommended from the school corporation as well. They already are doing work here in our community. They're familiar with working with park systems that have water parks or aquatic centers. They're also very familiar with working with municipalities and fire departments. So they really fit what we were looking for very well. And so we're confident moving forward with them. That's going to be a solid choice for us. Continuing to work on the strategic plan. One of the items that Chief Brock mentioned, referencing his fellow orange in the back of the room. We started off with some personality profiles. Again, we're all, for some of us, still trying to get to know each other. And if we're going to work as a group, as a team, we do need to make sure that we understand how each other's minds work a little bit better. So the personality profile was the first step in that. We've had a couple other meetings since then, trying to zero in on what exactly we think is important at the township level. And then that, of course, will filter down to the individual departments, both parks and fire. The Washington Township Transportation, that is, we're continuing to work on that. I've met with Marina a couple times since last time we all met. Karen has finalized some design layouts for the vehicle itself that has been sent over to our graphics company that whoever Chris Cron uses. That has been sent over to them so they can start laying that out on the computer and then get us a final proof of what that would look like. And then Chief Brock also kind of mentioned this one, moving into budget season. We're trying to make sure that we are getting our list of priorities, our wants and our needs, what we want to consider into the future. And then as he mentioned, we did sit down and meet with Jeff Peters yesterday, had an opportunity to do that and really talk in a little bit greater detail on if we do this, what is that going to look like financially in the future for us. And we had a lot of back and forth with conversations on different ideas and different projects that we might want to look at in the future with him, at least for Fireside, so he knows where we're at and he can start making some of those projections for us.
You good? Any questions?
No.
Awesome. Can we give a list of everybody's personality, color personality?
We can get that for you.
I have my bets, but.
Yeah.
You gave one, so. I would
Yeah, orange.
Yeah, well, I guess.
We are all different colors on the fire staff, so we complement each other.
Oh, good.
totally. Like we just annoy each other, I think, so it's good.
Very good. Let's see, next up, under old business, you covered, kind of Washington Township transportation, and then Murphy Aquatic pedestrian crossing.
Yeah, so we are still working with trying to get some updated quotes for the pedestrian crossing at Murphy Aquatic Park. We're running into, well, that's less than optimal. Yeah, you got it, yeah. Are we still streaming? Yeah.
Go on.
Now we're off.